We're live. We're live. And
Awesome.
one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, actually, I didn't know this about you. Golf. I
Yeah.
didn't know that you were a professional when it came to golf. Tell me about that. How did you get involved with golf? Um, and are you still like you're down here in Savannah, so are you still going and
No,
playing?
no, I played actually with Joe. I was in St. Louis a couple of weeks ago. I played 27 holes. That's the first time I've played. I've done about 3 rounds since 2017, which is embarrassing. I'm not going to lie. Going
Okay.
from playing every day and trying to compete to go into do hardly playing at all. But yeah, I when I grew up, I got into golf probably the age of 15 and a half. I turned pro at the age of 21. Tried to compete on mini tours. Just wasn't good enough. I mean, there's no there's no two ways about it. But
Right.
along the way, I did a lot of teaching. So I used to try and play mini tour stuff and local and regional back in England. But then, I'd do teaching. So from the age of literally 16 and a half, I was teaching like with the kids and stuff like that, just as like assisting. So I got into coaching really young, and then taught golf for, 10 years on a one-to-one level before, moving out to the States and coming across real estate.
So your accent, you're not from the deep South.
No, I thought I could pull it off, but obviously not. No, I'm not. So I'm from the UK, from England. Been in the US now probably about eight years, something like that. Got into real estate probably about 6 years ago, just by chance. A bit of a crazy story. I came over. My wife was a travel nurse. We've always liked the travel lifestyle. So she was a travel nurse. When we got married, she was working in Savannah, and she's always wanted to be a travel nurse. And I'd made the big jump. I'd left England. I mean, I'm in now a new country. So for me, it was like, well, let's go. So she handed a notice in, and we started to do that. And as a golf professional, all we did was follow the weather. And I never struggled to get a job. I used to caddy. I'd do a little bit of teaching, but more caddying because it was good money. And I could roll up, do 3 months, and then, or 13 weeks is what we were doing. And then we'd move to the next spot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the good thing is that we could take time off as much as we wanted. So like she'd take an assignment, and then we'd go to Europe for 2 months. And just wouldn't work. So everything we saved, we'd go and travel, come back. She'd take an assignment. We'd go where the weather was good. I'd get a job, and we'd roll it back out again. That's what we did until I came across real estate.
So real estate provides a lifestyle if you do it right. If you do it right. Why didn't you get into like being a realtor or getting your license? Did you see that as the lifestyle part? Like what got you into the virtual? Because when I was listening to one of your podcasts and you said you never bought anything in person.
No,
because of your lifestyle. Yeah. So why didn't you like go the real estate agent route versus an investor? Or do you have your license?
No, I don't. I'm not licensed. And that's nothing against realtors.
No, realtors are great.
I think, they're definitely great to work with. And, some of them are a hassle if they're not investor friendly. But I don't need my license. I do business in multiple states. I'm not on the ground. It just doesn't warrant for me to have it. But when I got into real estate, I didn't even know I wanted to get into real estate. And this is important because a lot of people are following the real estate dream, right? Yeah. They've always wanted to do it. For me, I came across an opportunity to work, and this sounds so cheesy, but from a phone and a laptop, right? And I thought I was even being like hype at the time. But I was visiting the UK on vacation, my parents, my wife. And literally we went into a coffee shop. It was like a wine bar, coffee shop in the day, wine bar at night. And we were walking the harbor, and literally one thing happened that kind of changed everything. Was we decided to go in for a drink. It was about 9 o'clock at night. And in England, obviously the places are smaller. And we happened to sit we were on a two, just the two of us on a table, but the tables were really close together. And there was two couples next to us that were here in for a wedding. And one guy was from Ireland, and my wife thought he was from South Africa. And she was just not having any of it. So I interrupted the guy and said, excuse me, where are you from? And he said, I'm from Ireland. I live in Manchester, which is in England.
Right.
And we said, anyway, so this now starts a conversation. She's from America. What do we do? What's going on? We started having a conversation, which led to then this guy said, I'm a property investor, but I don't see houses. I said, well, that makes no sense. Like, tell me about it. And he said, well, look, we do this and this. And it's basically wholesaling is what he's describing at the time. And then he's saying, you'd be great at it. You should look at it. Because I've just been on about doing I'm caddying. We're kind of living the dream, right? We're working, we're having time off. But I was like, I can't make the money. I can't take a job. I refuse to take a job in the United States for 5 days vacation. It still baffles me now. I just... Like coming in from England, we get probably 21 days standard. Most people get 28 days off a year. And you want to give me 5 days vacation and my whole family's in England? Like, no chance. So I've been looking for an online business that I could work from a phone or laptop so I could get home. If something happened, I needed to go. So that's kind of what happened. And we had that conversation, and then that led to one thing to another. And the first training that I ever did, I wasn't a course buyer like most people are. I come from a coaching background, so I'm all in. It's just the way I am. Like, let's go and let's do it properly if we're going to do it. So I joined a coaching program, and it was on virtual wholesaling that I could work from anywhere, from a phone and a laptop, and away I went.
So you were in golf, right? And I am not a golf professional. I barely golf, but I do live here in Savannah, which is a big golf in town. I mean, they play, what is it? The PGA was just playing over there at Hilton Head.
Yeah.
I was actually at Foxy Loxy. I was right over here on Bull, and I was having a coffee with another investor who actually plays golf. And we were sitting there talking, and there was a gentleman in front of us. I can't remember his name. But we were chatting, and he goes, I'm a mindset coach. And I was like, oh, who you work with? And he was like, I work with golfers. Right. Wow. And so talk to me about that, because real estate, it can be really a mind thing, because, you're talking to people all day long, right? On the phone, you're talking about this phone. This phone can seem like it's 1,000,000 pounds heavy sometimes. Yeah. Talk about that. How do you bring that golf type of mindset, because that's a different game right there, it's all about the mind, into this real estate business?
Great point. I mean, this is what kind of set me up. I'm not gonna lie, from the profession that I was in. You're exactly right. I think 80% of what we do in life is down to your mind, right? That means people as a golfer trying to get on tour. I played with some of the best players that I've seen that never, that never made it. And why? Was because of what's between the ears, right? And that was big. So coming from a golfer, and there's multiple examples that I could give, right? You talk about technique and pressure, right? The guys at the top can handle pressure. The guys that can't, because they're not mentally tough enough. It doesn't mean that they don't have the ability, but it comes down to the mental side when something gets in your head, which then transitions, as you said, into real estate. So I knew this from a young age of mindset, of being in tournaments and blowing it, right, down the last couple of holes. And then coming into real estate, knowing that, I mean, this is business. Right? This is difficult. The business that we're in, and there's so many people that teach and are on podcasts, and I have that myself, but I try and be real and say this isn't easy. Don't think it is, but it comes down to mindset. The first thing that you have to get right before you buy a course, before you do anything, is, do you believe that you can do it? Because I can assure you, if you come in, and we have people that come in and try and prove themselves in terms of that the concept doesn't work, right? So it's like, well, this doesn't work. It's not going to work for me. I'll try it, but I'm sure it won't work. Of course it's not going to work, right? Because you're not going in with the right mindset. So self-belief is huge. You have to believe in yourself that you can do it. And once you have that and you get your mindset right, then you can go on and start module 1. But don't do module 1 if you don't believe in what you're doing. And there's a few things people might say, well, hold on, if I don't know what I'm doing, how do I know I can do it? But you need to say, well, if someone else, if Corey's doing it, then I can do it, right? If Bob's doing it and Sam's doing it, or this person in my market is dominating, then I can do a deal because he's doing it. So go and show me someone that's not in one market across the whole of the country that's not doing deals. You won't find one. There's deals done in every single market in the United States. So if someone else can do it, you can do it. And it's just changing your mindset to doing that, right? So I think it's huge. It's the biggest thing that you need to get right.
Absolutely. And that's why I wanted to bring that up, because even if somebody has been how long have you been in the business?
Like just over 6 years.
So my question is, okay, you've been doing it, right? Mm-hmm. What's your fuel? Because when you got started, there was the fuel of, hey, I want to travel, and you got excited. What keeps you excited? Because this business can be daunting some days, right? Where you're like, we got the deal done, but shoot, now we got to get another one, and I'm talking to these people, they're pushing back closing. Like, how do you keep going? What keeps you going?
That's another great question. I think you have to have a strong why. All right, you got to go. And again, I don't want to. I know it's a Thursday morning. I don't want to go too deep here, but you have to have a why, right? There's people in this business that, and you need to understand where you sit in the business. It's a hobby, all right. Are you going to treat it as a business? Are you just trying to do one deal? Are you trying to do it and transition out of your job? And that's a goal. But then there's the why. Why do you want to do this business, right? And it's coming down to the why, and you need to go as deep as possible. That's going to make you so uncomfortable, and you don't want to be honest about it, but you got to go there. Because when it gets tough, that's what you got to revert back to. Why am I doing this? And it could be kids, it could be family, it could be, you want to leave them rental properties. But why? Because I don't want to have the struggles that I had as a kid, or whatever it is. Everyone's got their own thing, right? And COVID happened, right? Let's talk about the pandemic we're in. I think we're still in, or whatever it is at this point. I get excited, and this is probably weird, but I get excited by obstacles and trying to get around things. Like, everyone panics in the pandemic, and I was more like, all right, well, let's see if this business that I have built, with partners and whatnot, like, can it withstand this? Because this is my first true test. I wasn't in the crash, in 2006, 7, 8. I didn't live it. But I have an opinion on why people did it wrong. And I feel that my model and being able to adapt is important, and which I get excited about. Like a pandemic and everyone's panicking, stop marketing. And I'm going, no, we're going to transition. This is what we're going to do. And I'm going to hit it harder. And here's why, right? And there's a logic behind it. And that excites me. Why everyone, and I don't wish anyone to lose money or anything like that, but why everyone is channeling back to mindset of, we're over, we're done, we're going to be out of business, we're going to lose everything. I'm going, how can we dominate? How can we double down? How can we do more business right now than we've ever done? And that's my mindset. And that's what excites me to go every day, because we come up with, I do things, again, I teach this, but I do things that sometimes don't make sense to other people. Like we talk about lead gen, right? So let's talk about lead gen. So we have the hopper, and everyone's teaching more leads, more deals, more leads, more deals. Couldn't be any truer. But it's also the worst advice if you're not built for it, right? So right. 90% of my deals come from follow-up, okay? So if I'm so focused on lead generation, but 90% of my deals come from follow-up, Well, I can't be following up if I'm focusing on new leads. So it doesn't make sense, right? So we have to make sure that we get the foundation before you grow. So it's not all about lead gen. It's about the quality of the lead and the system that you're using to operate that lead throughout until you get the contract into close. So the more leads that come in, you get overwhelmed. You cut corners, you have fast conversations, you don't get on the phone because there's too many, and you take on the notes that, oh no, they won't sell. Let's go to this one. And all these things happen, and all we're doing is we're chasing the deal today. And you can't do that, in my opinion. So to do more leads, you have more marketing costs, right? We're in this business to make a profit. That's why people are in it. They might not, yes, we're in the business to help people, right? We're helping homeowners, and I'm all for that. But you're doing this business to make money. So let's not, that's just the way it is. And that's okay. Because some people are like, oh, no, I'm in the business to make money. I'm in the business to help people. Well, yeah, you are, but you're in it to make money, right? Well, no, you are. you really are. And that's okay. So it's just a different way of controlling the lead flow to go through the process to get it into close. And watching the marketing budget, right? And making sure you're profitable. There's one thing that frustrates me in the marketplace that we're in, with educators, with people doing deals, is that they just post checks, right? Well, that's awesome. How? Yeah. What happened? How long did it take you? How much of it's profit? Tell us about it, right? Because that's how you're truly going to educate people, you know?
So true, man. I'll just throw this out there that, I have a deal that I'm working on. It's locked up in contract, it's assigned. Yeah. Great deal. Duplex right here in the Starland district. It took like 9 months of follow-up.
Yeah.
9 months. My mom was on the phone with this person. Finally, she got on the phone because she's one of our acquisitions people. And she says, the person goes, hey, I remember you. And we're doing a deal together, right? 9 months. And guess what? I walked down the street, took a picture of it. And I was reading something this morning from Robert Kiyosaki, and he was saying, when you're investing, right, into something, a lot of times it could be a great real estate deal, but the investor is the risk. The person is a risk. So that was so key what you just said, like more marketing, more leads. But if you're not mentally set up for that,
yeah,
right, and you don't even know how to sell somebody and get somebody to close a deal with you, whether it's on the first try or the 15th try, more leads is not the answer.
No.
More leads is not the answer. So that's huge, man. And so when you say, because I hear you say it all the time, and you coach people, not just from golf, right? Like where you're talking about, you actually have a coaching program where you're coaching real estate investors and helping them not lose money and not lose their stuff. What do you mean when you tell people just do your thing and get on the phone? What does that mean? Just get on the phone.
So if you're not on the phone, where is my phone? My phone's here, right? If you're not on the phone, you're not making money, right? That was from when I got into the business. When I got started, you need two things in the business. Okay, you need obviously time or money, or ideally both. On an ideal world, when I got going, I had time, not money. Right.
Right. Me too.
So the thing is that I know that if I'm not on this, I'm not making money. Okay, and I'm not going to get to the goal of doing a deal if I'm not on the phone. Okay. So if you're not on the phone, there's 3 things that need to happen once your leads are coming in. Talking to sellers, making offers, and following up. That's the only thing that you need to focus on. So if you're not on the phone and you're not making offers, right, you're definitely not going to do a deal. And then it comes down to follow-up, repetitive follow-up to get it done. Okay?
What were those 3 things again?
Talking to sellers, making offers, and follow-up. Right, so leads, and obviously marketing could be one.
Of course,
so marketing, leads coming in, talking to sellers, making offers, okay, and follow up. I cannot tell you how many clients I have that will get on the phone, will never make an offer. If you never make an offer, you will not do a deal, okay? So it's all about making offers, right? Tied in with the phone. So people say, well, can I just not make an offer and not get on the phone? Yeah, potentially, but you're going to have to probably do 10 times the amount of offers, because now you're just making cold offers. So if we say it's going to take 30 to 40 leads over the period of time to do a deal, then and you just want to make offers, then you might have to make 150 offers to get a contract just by making offers and not talking to anyone, right? So as what we try and do is you want to talk to 5 sellers a day, okay, and make 3 offers a day if you can consistently.
5 sellers a day minimum.
5 sellers a day, 5 pre-screen sellers a day. If you can do that, all right, consistently, that's 25 a week. That's 100 sellers a month. That's 60 offers a month. That's 200 sellers in 2 months. That's 120 offers in 2 months. Are you telling me that you're going to talk to 200 people and one person is not going to say yes? I'm not having it, because I think they will, right?
Absolutely.
And what people are going to find is that, well, I only did half of that, but I got a deal. I only did a third of that and I got a deal, right? And that's the whole point, is that if you want it, that's your target. And if you fall short of that target, but you're doing 2 or 3 deals in the meantime, then fantastic, right? You now know that you've proved to yourself that you can do it. And you now know that if you hit them numbers, you're going to do more deals. Okay. So yeah, I think that's huge.
What do you see? Because I know you deal with a ton of new investors, right? But let's talk about experienced investors, somebody who's done maybe 50 plus deals.
Yep.
What advice are you giving them? Maybe this person, they've done 50 plus deals in wholesaling and they haven't done a bunch of rehabbing, or maybe they don't have any rentals. Like, are you diversifying within real estate at all? Because I know you're more experienced. So like, what kind of advice are you giving those people? Because, you know.
Yeah. So it depends, obviously, you know, from a course. If I work with anyone on a one-to-one level, we look at their business individually, right? So I work with people from experience for people that are new, and everyone has their own journey, but it all starts with what are they trying to do? Like, what's the goal here? And most investors create jobs, right? So they're successful. They're doing 20, 50, whatever deals a year, right? But they have a job, and they're so in the business, and they cannot have or reap the rewards of what they're creating, because they can't go on vacation, right? They're pounding the streets, and they can't have a day off, because having a day off or a week off with a family is going to cost them 25 grand because the business stops or whatever it may be. And that's an issue. So the first thing is that I do with experienced investors and say, okay, well, you're doing business, you're successful, but what are you trying to do here? What's the goal? Well, I need more time. I'm working 70 hours a week. All right. So what are your jobs, right? What's your role? What can we outsource? Okay. Because the first thing you've got to be outsourcing, right? Constantly outsource your weaknesses.
What do you mean by that? Because when people hear outsourcing, a lot of times they thinking, let me get somebody to clean my house.
Yeah. So when outsourcing is, you have multiple things in real estate. This is why there's so many moving parts that we need, and you need to analyze your business. And this doesn't matter if you're new or you've done a ton of deals, but we know the money's made on the phone, okay, or in person if you're running acquisition appointments face to face with sellers. So talking to sellers in some way, making offers, and then following up on them leads is how the money is made. Okay. So you need to do a list of activities that are in this business. Let's talk about cold calling. Now, does that warrant your time? If you're saying, look, I'm cold calling for 3 hours a day, I'm on the dialer, I'm doing this, and then I have to get on, and then I've got to run the appointment, and then I've got to do this, then the business is like a roller coaster. It's 2-stop start. So I could outsource by hiring a cold caller. to do them pre-screen leads for me. Okay. Or I could hire a VA, a virtual assistant, as admin. So when instead of being in the CRM, okay, that they can be updating the notes. They can be doing the marketing for you. They can be creating tasks and saying, these are 3 things that you need to do today, and organizing you. So the time that you spend on your business needs to be quality, right? It's not quantity. Some of the most amount of money that I make is normally when I travel. Why? Because I have to prioritize. I don't have a choice. Now, when I'm sitting in my home office, I'll work as hard as anybody else. But if I analyze the day, I might have sat here for 10 hours. But did I get anywhere? Yeah, but not really. I probably could have done it in an hour and 30 minutes, right? So it makes you, when you travel, it's amazing when you prioritize. And by having and building a team and outsourcing your weaknesses. So if marketing is not your strength, then outsource it. Get someone else to do it. Whether that is bringing on a partner, bringing on hiring a VA. But it's got to be done because we need leads. Else you're not going to get anywhere, right? It's the same as, now the last thing I will say to ever be outsourced in the business, in my opinion, is talking to sellers. Because that is where you're going to land deals. So all my clients, I say, we need an acquisition manager, right? Being on the phone, but you're only as good as your team. So you've got to get the right fit. Because someone said to me, I used the word, I said, we're doing, or we do this amount of deals, we have this amount in closing. And someone said, well, who's we? Is that like you and a student? I was like, no, we, meaning my team. Because without them, I'm not going to do anything, right? I'm fully outsourced and automated in the real estate business, where I'm not talking to sellers and making offers and signing paperwork. But that didn't happen overnight. That was part of the whole vision from day one. How can I create a business, not a job, right? Now, it's a job to start with, because I'm going to work, and I used to spend hours and hours on end on the phone. But that was the goal. The goal was to transition out, which I have done now, but I'm only as good as my team. So if my team can't close, we're not going to do any deals. Does that make sense? So
absolutely, 100%.
It's important for people to understand that. Like, don't hire when it's not necessary. Like, everyone's like, oh, well, I need a disposition. Okay, have you got any deals under contract? No, you don't need a disposition then. You hire a disposition manager when you have deals to move. Don't hire an acquisition manager when you don't have any leads, right? Because you're paying out, or you're on you're giving them a commission where they have no chance of making any money. So you're wasting their time and your time because you're not set up. So when you get going in this business, most of my clients is that I get them where the leads are coming in and they control them. And once they're getting to a point when they're getting overwhelmed, then we will hire the next person in place, right? Whether it be a cold call VA, whether it be an admin VA, whether it's an acquisition, and everyone's different. So back to, I got off the subject of an experienced investor. The first thing is find out what they're trying to do, and that's then the game plan that we're going to get put in place to make that happen, and build it from there.
You didn't get off track, man. That was perfect, because here's the thing: a lot of experienced investors, they're not looking at it from a standpoint, or even experienced realtors or experienced professionals. If you look at anybody that's experienced, they have a team. No, there's no something I learned in this business, and I'm a hip hop head, and in hip hop, it's like, I'm a self-made millionaire. You can't tell me nothing, da, 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 da. But honestly, nobody's done anything without a team. Right. Yeah. And so that's something huge that I've seen myself, wanting to step up, which takes a lot of skills. For me, I have to learn leadership. I have to learn a ton of leadership stuff. And just, I've thought that, being a CEO or a boss or whatever was like, you're the one. I actually work for my team. I got to make sure they got leads. But at the same time, we're building something together. And I look at it as I'm part of the team. I'm just another team member that just kind of has a leading kind of way. Now, you talk about virtual assistants. You talk about, kind of like creating. Talk to me about, because a lot of people in real estate, and I know it's important to get your net worth up, right? But I think what attracted me to real estate was financial freedom for the
100%.
lifestyle by design. I didn't really care much about net worth. I didn't even understand what it meant. All I wanted was to be able to, similar to you, like just travel, just be able to do things on my terms. Absolutely. What does financial freedom mean to you, Gavin?
That's a good question. And you're exactly right. I have friends in the business that are doing $500,000 a month gross, but their overhead scares me. Right. I'm in masterminds with people that we go into a pandemic and they need to get their overhead in the next 2 months is $350,000 before we make a dime. Now that's something to stress out about, and the business model that makes absolutely no sense to me. Right. I don't have to, again, it's back to profit. It doesn't matter how many deals you're doing. It's about how much money you're putting in your pocket, right? So great book for everyone. If you've not read it, is Profit First. Huge game changer for me was Profit First. So financial freedom to me is to do what I want with who I want when I want. And it's nothing to do with money. People can have financial freedom on $60,000 a year, $50,000, $40,000 a year. It's nothing. It's about you being able to do and live the lifestyle that you want. And that doesn't mean, luxury houses and cars and boats. People are like, I just want to, I'm happy that if I can make $5,000 a month, then I'm great. If I could do that. And when I hear that and some clients say that, we're talking one deal a month.
Right.
I mean, like, it's crazy. For me, I got offered a job as a golf professional in Arizona for $40,000 a year, okay, with $5,000 bonus. So I said to myself, I didn't know any idea about real estate or what I was doing, but I thought if I could make $45,000 a year, right, year one, then it was a great move, because now I'm working on my terms, and it was a lateral move, and I'm not working for anybody, okay, and it's amazing when you get this going, what it can create. And I think what people listening to this and investors do and can kind of get wrong is that everyone focuses on the goal, right? Now, you have to have a goal in mind, but you have to be having progress, all right? And you have to be focused on one thing at a time to get the goal. This is really important. So when I come sometimes and get students, they will say, I want to do 10,000 a month. I got to do 10,000 a month. I want to do 10,000 a month, right? The goal is 10,000 a month. And I say, right, okay, we understand that we want to do 10,000 a month, but now how are we going to get to 10,000 a month? Let's look at that. Let's break it down, okay? Because you just focusing on $10,000 a month and doing deals because you need to do deals is not going to get you deals. It's actually going to take you further back, right? We need to focus on the actions today. And if you do these well and consistent, the $10,000 a month will cover itself. That will come. But I need you to refocus on step-by-step things, okay, to get to $10,000 a month. So it's good to have the goal, $1 million, 100,000, 5,000, but don't be constantly using and channeling of, I got to get a deal today. The deal hasn't come. We got to get closing, guys. If we don't close by the next 2 weeks, like, we're going to have to let people go. And that's just all wrong. How about how many sellers have we talked to today? How many offers and how much follow-up have we done today? And then how much have we done today when we talk about this tomorrow? Because we know that if we do them steps, the outcome will take care of itself. And that's where people get in education mode and they will not take action because they want all the answers. Well, I can tell you now, you ain't going to get all the answers, right? You are not going to get the answers. We just closed a property on Friday, okay? And I was partnering 50-50. I was supposed to get wired $5,000 okay, into my account. And I had $14,225 into my account. And I'm like, what? So I called Melissa, my partner, and I said, I've had $14,250 in my account. No, I don't know what's going on. And she's like, oh, here we go. Great. And I was like, have you got paid? She said, yeah, I got paid $5,000. So basically what happened is that this was a $20,000 assignment fee. We were double closing, but we were supposed to get $10,000 on the front, and we had recorded a mortgage on the back end for $10,000 to help the flippers cash flow. Okay. We don't often do this, but if it makes the deal work and it's worth it, then we'll do it. Well, anyway, title had messed everything up and sent us the full amount on the front side, and no one couldn't figure out where and what had happened. Now, our attorney, and this is about doing obviously good business. Now, with that error, as soon as we've been paid, we still had the $10,000 mortgage recorded. So we got overpaid on the front by $9,250, let's say. Now, in real estate, someone would have had to eat that and not us, because that was a title issue, right? They overpaid on something.
Right.
And that's never happened before. So we start looking at it, and obviously we decided just to take the money on the front, and then we got rid of the mortgage on the back. But if we would have pushed for that, then they would have lost. Someone would have probably the title company would have at $9,500. So my point in telling you this is that you can't prepare for that, right? Things are going to happen in this business that are just out of the ordinary, and you can't. You need to stop asking what if. It's what's next, right? Because the what if questions, we could be here all day. So with our students, when they go, well, what if this happens? Has this happened? No. Well, when it happens, let's talk about it then. Now let's get back focused on what we're doing, because we could come up with a million what ifs and we'll talk ourselves out of actually taking action, and we won't get anywhere.
And that goes right back to our first part of the conversation, right? Which is mindset. If you don't, you got to focus on the things that you can control.
Yeah.
I can't control, somebody's sick, and they want to keep pushing closing back. I can't control that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I can control is how many offers did we make today? We made 3. Okay. Let's make 5.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's make 2 more. There's 2 more people out there we can make an offer to. I don't care if they want retail, just make the offer for what you think it's worth, on our side. Not saying you're just going making lowball offers. We're making very fair offers. They just might be lower than what people expect.
Yeah.
So I do have another question about how we met. Okay. It's actually pretty crazy. I was using Voxer. And I was a part of one of your coaching programs. So I'm a I'm one of those people that I'll purchase a course and I will learn it and I will use it and I'll get my money back from it. And one of the things this course was about was you were teaching me virtually. I did not know you at all. This was crazy. I was actually living in San Francisco when I got this course, was how to utilize virtual assistants. And you were partnered with a gentleman who's pretty well known in the real estate industry. His name's Joe McCall. And what's cool is that you talk heavy about virtual assistants. Well, one day I hit you up on Voxer because I was trying to get some questions and you hit me right back. We didn't know each other. So then I'm at this cool little office downtown of Savannah called Regis. And I did a double take. I'm like, that's Gavin. And I had like another appointment with some people on the computer, and I went and talked to you and we connected, which was so cool. Because I don't really meet that many people virtually. Once you start learning stuff, I've learned from a lot of people online. And that's why I wanted to tell people that your coaches don't have to be local. No. Your coach, like I bring people into this group that aren't always from Savannah, but you are from Savannah. But are all your deals here in Savannah? No, are you doing every single?
I don't know any. I mean, it's embarrassing. I don't know anything in Savannah.
I know we got to do some stuff together.
Yeah.
Where are you doing deals right now? Where at?
So we do. I do Birmingham, Alabama. Is my main market. I do some in Tallahassee, Florida. Warner Robins, Georgia. I do a little bit in Augusta. I do Maui. And the reason I gave a little pause there, because technically right now I'm not doing Maui because of funds for my flipper. So we do business in Maui, which I don't recommend. But again, I'm very big on opportunity. So the opportunity presented itself to work with a flipper in Maui who was kind of hounding me to do marketing and say, can you find me deals? And I said, no, I don't want to work Maui. I'm like, no. And he's like, come on, like we can do this. We do business. You can wholesale to me. And his name was Dan. I said, look, Dan, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I can't wholesale to you because you're not going to want to pay what I can get on Maui. Like, if I'm going to go and do this, I'm going to build a buyers list and I'm going to sell to the person that is going to give me the most money. And I can tell you now from what you're asking for, it's not going to be you. The model doesn't work. So he said, well, what will work? And I said, the only thing that'll work is if I find the deal and I'll provide you everything and then you pay me on the flip. So you give me a percentage on the back end. And that way then we're trying to get it as deep as possible. We're in it together and I get a percentage when the deal's done. And that's what we decided to do. So, but since COVID, his funds, so his main funding guy pulled the plug, and then he had a backup, but their prices went up, and so we're not working Maui right now, so we're kind of on hold. And that was part of when we looked at our business, like where are we going to focus, what are we doing, how are we going to transition today with what's going on, which is exactly what we did.
How are you dealing with partnerships? So you hear like I'm listening to you. You said you have partners over here. You have two sides of the coin. There's always three, right? But you have these two sides of the coin. You have, I never want to deal with partners. And then you have people that have partners. I have partners, they're family, right? But at the same time, I've never, I have JV partners here and there, but I don't really get into too many partnerships because of, not because, it's just the horror stories that you hear. I have some investor friends that get into partnerships and they will never get into another partnership. How are you managing partners and how do you know to pick the right partner? Do you pick them because they got money?
No. Through really networking and building a relationship. I have partners that I trust kind of I know it sounds dramatic, but with my life. So I will sometimes, like, they sign on my behalf, and it's just a relationship. So there's partners in two different ways. JVing is different because that's just a JV on a deal. A partner is a partner where you're in something together and you're going to, do it and build it. And it comes down to communication, right? And honesty. And once you have that and you both trust each other and it's kind of like an open book, we say what we want, we discuss what we want. There's nothing like, I'm not going to tell them this. It works. But you are right. You get the wrong one and it can be a nightmare. So it just depends on building the relationship, testing the water with them, letting them, if I have a partner, if I go into a new market and it's like, I know you, okay, so I know you, we've met, we've talked a couple of times, but I don't know you like I know partners at this point, right? So I might say, all right, I want to see some business, seems like legit guy, we get on, seems honest, got a good feeling about him, all right, let's try it. So now you've gave it I'm going to do this and I'm saying I'm going to do that. And we've come up to this agreement. Now let's see who delivers and who does it. So for instance, if I'm going to get leads and I'm going to get them ready and I'm going to bring them into you and you're saying I'll work them every day and I'm going to make offers and we get to week one and I've given you 15 leads and you've called 2 of them, then there's a problem because you're not doing what you said you were going to do. So there's like like little tests that you can do when you run this to grow the relationship, and then it just evolves from there because everyone's in a different situation. We talk about virtual wholesaling. You can be doing it in Savannah on the ground. You can be like me and do it in multiple states, but you're only as good as your team, right? We come back to that. Communication is huge. to make sure things are actually being done to get results. Because otherwise, if they're not, you're on a one way. You just got money going out, burning, right?
Right.
When you look at your situation, when people do this, is what time do you have to make this business work? Because there's multiple ways to set this business up. So if you're working 70 hours a week, right, you need to carve time to make this work. Or you got to go and get someone, outsource, hire, partner with someone that's going to do the work that you can't do. So you got a guy at 70 hours a week, right? And he's like dying to get into real estate. He has the money. Market, if you're not going to call the leads, you need to get someone on the ground, or you need to partner with someone that doesn't have any money, that is enthusiastic, that wants to take the business to the next level. Because now you're a match. You don't put I've got no money and I've got no money and they go together, because
right.
You got I got money and we can do this, and you have time, let's build this together, and then that makes sense. So there's no such thing as, well, I have a job and so I just can't do this. No, you can do it. You just have to be set up in the right way to get results. And most people, again, get that wrong, because they're going through the courses and think, oh, well, I've got to be the one on the phone because he says it, but I work 70 hours a week, so I just can't do it. No, someone in your team's got to be on the phone talking to 5 sellers a day and making these offers. And that's how you can start to build this out. And as soon as you can, and you have a breaking point to when to jump ship. So it's like, oh, I want to do this. I want to be a full-time investor. Okay. And I only ask this to personal clients, but what do you make right now? I'll make $60,000. Okay. How much do you need to make consistently a month to be able to leave this job? 5,000 a month. If I can make 5,000 a month consistent. Okay. So if we can do that, how many months do you need to do this before you go full time to prove that you can do this? 3 months. Okay. So if we can make $5,000 consistently for 3 months, you're willing to leave your job. And this is now building a marketing plan and a game plan. So by having these conversations, I'm pulling out what they want. And then this is what our plan is. So we know, okay, you're working 70 hours a week. So we need to find a person on the ground that you're going to partner with, right, in a market. So we can build the lead gen. We can get leads coming in. He's going to focus on locking the deal up, moving the deal, making money. And if we can get your half to be 5,000 a month consistent for 3 months, now what happens is when you leave that 70 hours a week, and what now could you achieve if you had all your time to do this? And that's pretty powerful, right? If you can make money doing it while you've got all this stress and hassle, but now you come in full time, that's how then you're going to 10 times the business.
Big time. Yep. Big time. Now, I know that we were, we spoke earlier, and you said that you know, one of the ways that we got in contact, outside of even at Regis, was through coaching. And I know with coaching, it takes time. Yep. It takes a lot of time to work with people. And I respect people like yourself, Gavin, who run a business in real estate and also have a passion to help people. But I also know that your time's valuable and you don't take on every client that you talk to. Are you taking on any coaching clients now? And if so, how do people get in touch with you if they wanted to get coached by you or work with you in some kind of capacity?
Yeah. So we are, we take people on, but you're exactly right. It has to be a good fit. There's sales guys that obviously get you and persuade you and to sign up for things. I'm the opposite. I need to know that it's going to work, and this is what we do and how we do it. And if it doesn't make sense, then all we lose is a conversation, right? So I have Sean who talks to people for me as well. And that's what we're big on. It has to make sense, else we won't do it. Or I'll give you look, you just need to go and get a course, or you need to go and do this and start here, or whatever it is, free information. But yeah, you can email me at support@reinetwork.com, support@reinetwork.com. Also check out, I just started a new YouTube channel that we're going to be pushing here heavily. I just renamed it actually. It's REI Network with Gavin Timms. If you put that into YouTube, I do some content on there. I do some coaching calls, some role plays. So people can check it out. It's all free. But yeah, message me at support. We do have a goal. I was going to talk to you. I've not mentioned this yet, but we're going to come into Savannah to do business. That is a goal. We're aiming for August, maybe probably September, really kind of launching the Savannah market. Because I want to start maybe picking up a few flips. We bought one. I don't do business here, but we did actually buy one in Ardsley for my mother-in-law.
Great. I was going to ask you about that later.
Yeah.
That's great.
So we did do that. And I bought off the MLS, which I never do. But it made sense. I mean, the numbers were good. But you got to act quick. These things on the MLS, you can't mess around. This thing came on, and my wife went out and seen it. We had the offer in, and got accepted same day, and we were moving. You can't. There ain't no deals on the MLS if they're deals that are gonna hang around. Like, you got to be on it, and that's a great way to move your deals as well. If you do have funding, you can afford to take deals down. If you want to maximize the profits, I feel that you should be able to get at least $10,000 more if you take it down and you MLS it. From whatever you're moving locally to your buyers, if you put it on the MLS, you should be shooting 10,000 more minimum to what your local guys on your buyers list will pay. Because MLS, I mean, it's just to the open market, the realtors that have their buyers. It's just a great way to move deals.
It is. And so, when you talk about coaching, right, and working with people, are you looking for somebody that can do this maybe part-time? Or are you looking for people that are looking to do this full-time? Or are you kind of like, hey, I can help you as long as you're committed? Like, what type of person are you looking for? Somebody that's new? Or are you looking for somebody that's maybe experienced? Like,
yeah, both. Again, it's an individual plan, right? And we're talking, this is not a course. This is obviously a coaching program. It isn't.
What's the difference? Because people have that, accountability is huge, right?
Exactly. Yeah. A course is something that when you buy, courses are great, right? But only if you use them. I never started that way. So I went straight into coaching. I'm from a coaching background, so I see the value in it. It's the learning curve. How much money are you wasting by doing the wrong thing? Focus on what makes money. I'm going to tell you what I tell everyone to do is what I'm doing. I'm not asking you to do anything different than what I'm seeing in multiple markets, right? Which is important. I'm not asking you to do something that that might work. I'm saying these are the results that I get, and these are the results that clients get. This is what you need to do. So the difference is huge, because a course is a material that you watch and act on. Very good if you take that action. The coaching side is where you're in it together. I'm going to help you build it, focus to get them results. It's at a higher cost, but we're not trying to take everybody on. And I don't want this to sound as, oh, here we go, here's the pitch. There's no pitch. There isn't. We don't struggle for it. And check out the free stuff that I gave you. Go to the YouTube channel. You're going to get stuff there. And that's what I think you should do and start with.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no pitch here. This is straight out of love. Like, honestly, we were just talking about time and how, me and you both, we do things, out of the love of this, but also you were giving me some game, and you were like, hey, Corey, like, make sure that you manage your time well, because you don't want to sacrifice. When I say yes to somebody, I'm saying no to something else. And a lot of times, if I'm saying yes to somebody over here, I'm saying no to my business, I'm saying no to my team, and I'm saying no to the deals that I could be doing to provide opportunity for our family, our investors. Our investors rely on us for deals, for properties and things like that. So at the end of the day, that's big advice. So if you guys, have the chance to reach out to Gavin and see if you're a good fit to work with him, I'd strongly suggest it. I've used some of his coaching, material, and have gotten help by him. and we're starting to build a relationship here, and it sounds like he's going to be coming into Savannah. So if anybody has any deals, any properties that they have in contract, I'm pretty sure Gavin wouldn't mind taking a look at them if it's in contract. And he's a buyer. I know he's doing some wholesales all around the country, but he flips. I'm pretty sure. Are you buying, holding right now as well in this market?
Well, yeah, we're going to flip and hold this one that's local. So I am going to be doing more of that. My wife's going to be running the rehab. She's done a great job on this. I have nothing to do with it. She runs it all. So yeah, that's our goal, is to do it locally. I've never really been huge on doing local because so I don't get dragged into the business of running places and like, hey, can you do this and that? Just doesn't work for our model. And I want to say one thing as well about coaching, because people say, well, why? I mean, I come from a coaching background, right? And there's something to be said that there's nothing encourage you do this and you grow. And if you go into coaching or whatever's on your path, there's nothing better than you can do the deals because you've done them. When you take someone that's never done a deal and they go and do a deal, right? I mean, the feelings are unbelievable. It really is. And it might be $5, $10, $15, $20,000, but it's life changing to them. And it's amazing that once they get that, I mean, I have a guy that I work with, is a diesel mechanic, right? And makes X amount a month. And then he goes and makes $5,000. I mean, or 10 grand. I mean, we ain't got to do many to hit his goal. You know what I'm saying? And then if you could focus again on this full time, what could you achieve? So there's something to be said. I'm fully outsourcing the business. I'm a big believer personally in that you're doing what you teach. I have to be in the trenches to explain from a mindset and what we're dealing with. I'm big on that as well. Marketing is changing all the time, right? What if? Here's a what if. What if cold calling gets banned and we can't do it anymore? We'll figure it out. I don't know. We'll worry about it when it happens. I get a question all the time. What do you think the market's going to do? I have no idea. But I'm working for today, and I'm going to act on today. So until the market goes, the way that we invest as wholesalers, right? Now, yeah, your flippers have got to be more worried about that, but they don't know. All I can tell the flippers is get in and out and fast, because you don't want to be stuck with 20 properties and then lose millions when the crash happens and now you lose everything, right? Which happens. Don't do 20 right now. Get in, get out. Now, if you're used to doing 5 at a time, do 2 at a time. Get them done, get in. Don't get greedy, because you push the greed and the market goes, you're the ones left. The wholesalers, they're still rubbing their hands. They never had ownership. They're wholesaling, they're making money today. When, buyers are harder right now, COVID, people are like, that was a major shift for us in the market. Who's buying right now? Yeah, we have a buyer's list, but who is buying right now? When we went to that was the whole meeting that we had. Is we need to find out right away who's buying. We're having people pull out of deals just like everyone else. Okay, so let's go and find out who's buying, and then we're going to transition and put all of our focus in delivering to them. So we had one guy in Alabama said, I have $2 million to spend. Let's go. I'm ready to buy. And I'm like, all right, where? These zip codes. So all we did is we focused all of our follow-up in them zip codes. We did new marketing to them zip codes, and we delivered for him. Right. And that's how we made money. And we did that for 4 or 5 people that were still buying. And everyone else that's holding off and unsure, we're not dealing with them. So you have to transition them fast. That's how we didn't skip a beat through COVID. Other than closings being pushed.
Right.
I mean, again, we can't control that. So I'm not worried about it.
Right. And so congratulations too, man, on getting an RV.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
that's huge. It's one of my goals. So to see you doing it, it's like what you said. If you can do it, I can do it, right? And so, are you traveling now with that, or you kind of like you got a plan for it?
Oh yeah, I have a plan, kind of like a plan of I wanted to leave yesterday. No, so my sister, my wife's sister, just had a baby Monday morning, so we were here for that. So waiting for that. And then my wife's finishing this rehab that her parents are going to move into. which should be done in maybe another 4 weeks. So as soon as that's done, we're ready to go. So I'm ready. She's not ready. So
are you still going to be doing deals? Are you taking off like when we go? Or are you going to be like working, making money?
Yeah. We won't miss a beat.
That's
So
inspiring.
oh yeah, we'll still do the same amount of deals. I'll still be coaching. I'll still be doing that, on the road. And I used to do it. I had a travel trailer before, and before my wife got sick, and we sold it. But we did 8 weeks in the summer. We did 27 states. I had my biggest month of the two. One of them was the biggest month of the year for me while I was traveling. And it just shows it's down to systems, processes, and team when you build to be able to do it. It's not rocket science, but not everyone's in that position right now. So you have to get there. But that was the vision. The vision was, how do I do none of this? And how do I have a business that runs? Now that comes at a cost or a percentage. My overhead is not big. So I can withstand crashes, right? I have more than one strategy that we can do. Lease options, owner finance, but you grow into this, and that's what we do. So yeah, I'm not planning on missing a beat while we travel.
That's awesome, man. And that's the starting with the end in mind. And so, Gavin, man, I appreciate you jumping on here. I know we're at like an hour and some change. So I really, really do appreciate your time. If anybody wants to link up with Gavin, the cool thing about Gavin is he is local, but that doesn't mean he's always available, right? He is local, but it doesn't mean he's always available. Hit him up. He's in the group. I'm pretty sure he doesn't mind you hitting him up. And just like anybody, give him some time. He's busy. If you're hitting him up on Facebook and all that kind of stuff, give him some time. But Gavin, anything else that you want to let us know, or how we, anything else that we could do to help you?
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching this video, guys, if there's any cash buyers, drop me a message. We're going to be coming into the market, wholesalers as well, or JV. I'm going to be talking to you about that as well, Corey. Again, it's not all about, we look at speed to move deals. So I'm coming in and I know that you know more people than me. You're going to have better buyers than me. And if I can get the deal done with you, then let's go and I'll go and find the next one. So I'm big on that. Check out the YouTube channel. You can check out new website, reinetwork.com. And yeah, anything you need, reach out. And I appreciate your time. And I guess just a shout out to you from what you were saying as well. Obviously, you're taking your time to run this group, give value. So I'm glad that people are getting behind you. You're doing this for nothing. You're providing great value by having people on that we bring, but also the things that you're doing and people are learning from. And all I can tell people is that if you're going to spend the time and be here and watch this, or follow Corey, or go to his meetups, start taking action with it. Don't waste your time going if you're not prepared to do it and act on it, because otherwise you're in education mode. You got to get out of education mode. If someone says something, start doing it. Progression, right? Moving forward all the time to get results.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast.